Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. That's audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Geoffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health, and really without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. That's betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I've watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Good God Almighty, why did I sit through that? I was sitting here with anticipation. Okay, I got to hear this quote. Zig says I got to open with this quote. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's Rutger Hauer's last line in Blade Runner.
Well, it's obviously been that long since I've heard it. So, wow.
I thought I did it really well.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. Welcome to episode 14 of Nerdery and Murdery.
What for?
All right.
I'm Zig with your nerdery.
I'm Geoffrey with your murdery. This episode comes out September 5th. Over there running the show is Will. Say hi, Will. All right, then.
Okay.
So, moving on. So, second episode of the day that we're recording. We try to record our 3 every day. That was a really good episode. The last one, I enjoyed that a lot.
A lot of giggling in that one.
Yeah, that was some good. Well, especially, I think, I don't know, 5-10 minutes of William just laughing, and we couldn't contain ourselves.
Stop. And then we couldn't stop. But it was about comedy, so it was really awesome.
We're both wearing our Nerdery and Murdery shirts.
Yes!
I so think this needs to be merchandise. We got a picture up on on Facebook of it already,
Yes.
and I really hope people go, I want one. I
Yes.
need one.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
have
well,
to have one.
This is where we could start the team nerdery or the team murdery is with
Oh,
these
that
shirts.
would be awesome. I would absolutely love it. Absolutely. I love this shirt. I'm so happy with this shirt. I guess if we go ahead and start into your side of the show
Thank you.
with the nerdery.
This is some nerdery. I'm going to discuss two things that are actually the same thing, but kind of not. So I'm going to discuss Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and Blade Runner.
So am I going to shock you when I tell you I've never read the novel?
Really?
Never read it.
It's really good. It's different.
I've
That's why I want to cover them both.
Yeah, I've tried. So, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is in that genre of hard sci-fi that I find difficult to read. I like science fiction, but when Dune was very hard for me to read.
Yeah.
I made it through 3 books, but it was very hard for me to read. Hardcore sci-fi is very hard for me to read, and I don't know why. Not that I want light slapstick sci-fi. I mean, granted, I like the Stainless Steel Rat. That was a favorite series of mine because that's really kind of slapstick and everything. But this is one of those, which is kind of funny because I've read all of Asimov's Robot series.
I have not.
I've read all of Asimov's Foundation series.
Oh God, that's way more serious than this is.
I know, and so
thicker. This book's only like 150 pages.
Yeah, and so I'm not really sure why. I seem to remember trying to. I've of course seen the movie.
Yeah.
I have not seen the new one.
Okay, 2049.
I've not seen it. That's still something I have on my list of yet another thing I need to watch. There's too much to watch these days. But yeah, never seen the second. I saw the first. I saw the first originally. I saw the first in the re-release in the theater with the extended cut.
Yes.
But that's really my exposure to it.
It's honestly, a lot of people like the extended cut. They take out the narration by Deckard. I like that.
I agree.
It reminds me of a 1940s Sam Spade.
Sure. Film noir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this story is very film noir.
Yeah.
I mean, even the book, it has a definite film noir tone, even though it's a little more post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I think the narration absolutely should stay in. I agree with that.
So I want to talk about the book first. It is a dystopian science fiction novel by Philip K. Dick, and it was first published in 1968. The novel is set in post-apocalyptic San Francisco, and the film is set in L.A. There's a couple of differences. Earth's life has been greatly damaged by a nuclear global war, leaving most animal species endangered or extinct. The main plot follows Rick Deckard, a bounty hunter who is tasked with retiring 6 escaped Nexus 6 model androids, while a secondary plot follows John Isidore, a man of subpar IQ who aids the fugitive androids. Oh God, I can't remember the actor's name. From Newhart, Larry Darrell.
Oh,
that's John Isidore.
Okay, yeah.
Again, I can't believe it.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it because he was also in Deadwood.
Yeah, I love that actor. So it's set in 1992, and they moved it to 2021 in later editions. It sounds like they need to move it again. It's after a nuclear war called World War Terminus. The Earth's radioactively polluted atmosphere leads the United Nations to encourage mass immigrations to off-world colonies. Now, they play on that a little bit in the movie, but it's a lot bigger in the book. Basically, they're trying to get people to move to these colonies. And one of the perks they throw out is they get to get personal androids, servants.
That actor, by the way, is William Sanderson.
William Sanderson. Great.
These are my friends. I made them.
Real quick before you move on too. So for For those of you out there listening that are not overly familiar with Philip K. Dick, you may be more in tune with The Man in the High Castle. Since
yes, also Philip K. Dick.
Right. So that was one of his as well.
You Can Have It All at Recall, or Total Recall is also one of his. I love PKD. His stuff is really... It's hard sci-fi, but there's also a lot of sociology mixed in, I guess. That's for lack of a better term. He really likes to study the human condition when he's doing his science fiction, which I think all science fiction basically should do, because it's not about aliens, it's about our response to them. Moving away, Earth comes with they get the free personal androids when they go off-world. The Rosen Association, in the book, it's called the Rosen Association. In the film, it's called the Tyrell Corporation. They manufacture these androids on Mars, but some of the androids will rebel and escape to Earth, where they hope to remain undetected. As a result, American and Soviet police departments remain vigilant and keep android bounty hunters, or Blade Runners, on duty. So on Earth, in the book, on Earth, owning a live animal is a status symbol. But because everything's dying off, people get android, basically pets.
Right.
Deckard's was a sheep that he actually would buy hay for, and it would pretend to eat the hay, and then it would just pass it through, and he would put the hay. At one point, his sheep got a piece of barbed wire in the hay when it was eating, and it got stuck in its innards, and it ceased to function. So he's wanting to make more money so he can buy himself another electric sheep. Hence the name. Do androids dream of electric sheep? And
I've always loved that name. I've loved that title. That's been a favorite title of mine in sci-fi forever. I just think it's
very poignant too. You
absolutely.
Think it sounds ridiculous, but when you read the story, it's like, oh, that makes total sense.
Well, and that they tail off. They basically give homage. They give homage to that in Star Trek Next Generation, where Data. Excuse me, I know better than that. Data.
You're going to get mail.
I think they actually ask him, or I can't remember if they ask him, does he dream, or if he ponders, will he dream? And when did Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep come out?
68.
Huh.
It predates.
How?
Will I dream?
Thank
Dave?
you. That's exactly where my thought was going to. Will I dream, Dave?
Yeah, I think it predates
it. Wonder if that's where
it
came from.
It could be.
I had never put two and two together.
Because I want to say that came out in 69. Oh, that may have came out in 68.
2001.
Yeah, that may have been 68.
Right, looking that up.
I gotta look that up.
I'm looking that up. So I think I really think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could have sworn 2001: Space Odyssey 68.
Okay, so the exact same year.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Am I wrong in remembering that where there was actually a thing with Data and dreaming?
Yeah, he actually ends up dreaming at one point, and his dream helps them discover parasites that are on them. Remember, because he has the phone in his stomach in his dream, and they answer the phone. Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, look, my phone's an Android.
So anyway, sorry. Tabling off onto other subjects.
Yeah, that's fine. I was kind of hoping we would, as we do. So yeah, the thing is, they will test these. There's an increasingly empathy in the book. It coincides with they call it a religion, but it's more of a philosophy called Mercerism.
I have to pause here. There's a Chihuahua beside you. That's Luna.
Yes.
and she's near you.
I know.
She hates anybody who doesn't live in this house,
I know.
and yet she's right next to you.
How you doing, Sugar Bear?
Wow. Hi. Hi, little one.
I'm telling you, dogs and children like me.
Luna doesn't like anybody who doesn't live here.
Like me. I don't know why.
So weird. Now here's Bella. Sorry.
It's probably because I'm small.
That's true. SM all.
SM all.
Quote from Cannonball Run.
Yes. Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin. Dressed as priests.
Priest driving a red Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yet another tangent that has no relation whatsoever.
That's okay. That's all right. So yeah, the thing is, the androids, the reason they're able to catch them is they give them empathetic tests, and the androids can't pass. Now, in the book, they're actually mechanical devices. In the movie, they're biologic.
Right.
They're basically made people.
They're skin jobs.
Yeah, skin jobs.
Right.
Yeah, which is what the Deckard's boss calls them. So in Blade Runner, the former policeman Rick Deckard is detained by Officer Gaff, played by the great Edward James Olmos.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually talk about, the thing I like best about the movie is they talk about city speak, which is a combination of Japanese, Spanish, Chinese, English, and a mishmash of what have you, as Deckard describes it.
Okay. Edward James Olmos,
Mm-hmm.
we absolutely have to have an episode on Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Because immediately I'm going to,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Dude, we're going to do an episode on Miami Vice, all right?
I'm happy to do that. But Battlestar Galactica for Admiral Adama for sure.
God, he was so good.
Well, and so, for spoilers for that episode, we of course have to start back in the 80s, and we have to do the original. Then we have to do Battlestar 80. And,
oh my God, Galactica 1980.
Right.
It was so bad.
Oh God, yes. And then
they were trying to save money on a hit show.
And you know what? I know we've had this conversation, but I want to just stab myself in the eye that the reboot, or actually not the reboot, it's just a new Battlestar Galactica is coming out on the new NBC streaming.
I have it.
I don't want another streaming app.
I have it. Okay, there's a free version of the NBC app.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get it.
Then I'll do that. I'll suck it up with commercials, but I really want.
I
to
like
see
Peacock.
This.
My problem with Peacock, if you are listening, fix the app on the on the Fire Stick. Just fix it. Make it work. I'm tired of sideloading. Dude, when you go to their support page, they tell you to sideload it.
That's funny.
Which, okay, I'm okay with, but when they do an update, it usually takes a couple of weeks for the sideloaders to get it. So right now, I am paying for Peacock, and I can't watch it on my television at home. I can watch it on my phone.
Do you know I still can't get HBO Max on my LG?
What?
It's not available for LG. I still can't get it.
What?
So if I'm going to watch something on HBO Max, I have to load it on my phone and then screencast. And so I know, and it's a beating. So yeah, it's not an app that's available.
No.
That's the only way I can watch HBO Max.
HBO Max, fix your stuff.
Well, just become
Peacock, fix your stuff.
Just become available on every platform. I mean, LG is not a small company.
God, no.
Have it out there for the major platform, or the major models.
Okay, yeah, I get not having it for Gus's streaming device, but Fire Stick,
right?
LG, you guys are idiots.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you right now. Even if you want to sponsor us, you're idiots. I love you, Peacock.
If you want to sponsor us, I don't think you're idiots, and I love you very much.
Peacock, if you want to keep my business, fix the Fire Stick app. Because I'm tired of not being able to watch it all the time. Because I like the Amber Ruffin show. I watch that every week. She is hysterical. She is poignant. She's brilliant. She is America's sweetheart. I want to watch her show every week. Lorelai watches it with me.
So next tangent.
Okay.
God, we're going to have so many of these.
No, that's fine.
Saw a rumor this week that Disney Plus has contacted Joss Whedon. Firefly.
Oh, no.
It's a rumor.
Oh, no.
It's a rumor.
But Joss Whedon's got all that stuff going on.
That was part of that article, too. Is it going to happen because of his personal things that are going on?
What if we just contact his brother Jed and Tim Minear? I think we could still get it off the ground.
Did Heroes? They did Heroes. Tim Minear did Heroes.
Yes, but Tim Minear also did.
He did. Yeah, he did some Firefly.
Yeah, and Jed Whedon did a lot of the writing.
Did he?
Yeah. So if we could just get Jed and Tim Minear, I think we'll be fine.
Well, again, this is rumor. There's no confirmation of this, but it is something I read.
Firefly. It is such a good story.
Well,
you know what? I realize casting is 90% of that, and if they get a new cast, they're going to have to do it right.
Correct. I'd rather just see the original cast come back.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, good God, they're all doing stuff.
So I'm trying to think here.
Nathan Fillion?
Thank you. Nathan Fillion, he's got his show, The Rookie.
Which is great.
But he even said back when he was on Castle, he would leave for Firefly.
Oh, okay.
Marina Baccaine, I don't know what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Wash.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
The reason I want to reboot it, because I don't want Wash and Shepherd Book to die.
Right. Yeah, I want it to go back. Gina Torres, she's on 911 Lone Star.
Okay.
So, and then, Shepherd Book, Ron Glass, I don't know if he's doing anything. Jewel State, I don't know that.
She's working in Canada.
Okay. So I don't know that any of them are doing anything they wouldn't go back to Firefly.
You think so?
I could be wrong.
I would definitely, you know what? I would definitely want a guaranteed contract if I were them.
Oh, sure. I wouldn't want to go. Well, if it goes on, okay, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and throw it out there. Disney's done a pretty damn good job with the things they've done for Marvel.
Oh, my goodness, they have.
Now, Star Wars, there's a lot of people that are going to say they've screwed Star Wars up. Now, there's good stuff. Well, no, think about the movies.
I liked all three of those movies.
Okay.
All three of them.
I love The Force Awakens.
I
thought it was good. But it was a retelling of Star Wars Episode 4.
Yes, it was. Yes.
All three of them took elements from the original three. The second one was pretty good. The third one was pretty good. They were all pretty good.
Yeah.
But they weren't great.
Okay.
Not Rogue One great.
Rogue One was the best Star Wars
Mandalorian
piece.
great.
1A and 1B. I think we had this conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think Disney could do it right if they have the right people involved.
Yes.
And I just, I just, it's a rumor. It's a rumor, and there's always hope. I mean, for all of us that are Firefly fans, we got one season.
We got one season and one movie.
And that was Fox's fault.
Yeah.
And we've been begging for it ever since. I mean, that was why the movie came out, is because there was enough fan crying out, please bring us back Firefly. But unfortunately, it's never come back to TV, which we've been dying for forever. So with that, we've been talking about Blade Runner.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. We actually, I think we had just started on Blade Runner because we were still kind of discussing Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Right. So sorry because we went on a huge tangent on that one.
It's fine. I kind of wanted to do that anyway. So in Blade Runner, more specifically, it takes place in Los Angeles. Of course, Officer Gaff, which is Edward James Olmos.
That's where we started. That's where we tailed off.
He's brought to his former supervisor, Bryant. Deckard, of course, was a Blade Runner, and he was hired to retire escaped androids because the androids aren't supposed to be on Earth at all, other than parts of them, and then they ship them off and construct them someplace else. Now, for research purposes, the Tyrell Corporation can have some there, but they can't leave the facility.
Right.
So they are known as replicants in Blade Runner.
Still skin jobs.
Yeah, skin jobs.
Right.
Their 4 replicants are on Earth illegally. They're all Nexus 6, which is the new type. And Deckard begins to... Deckard says, I'm quit now. I was quit when I walked in here. I'm twice quit now. And Bryant ambiguously threatens him, so Deckard stays. The two watch a video of a Blade Runner named Holden administering the Void Comp test to Leon. The Void Comp test is a test where they look at your eye and test all your stuff, and they want to see emotional responses to dark questions.
Right.
I think we're actually starting to use things like Void Comp tests for criminal investigations.
Really?
Yes, I think that this is starting to happen. It's not like a lie detector test, but it's close to it.
Huh.
It's not quite as high tech as a Blade Runner,
sure.
but they're kind of starting to look in that direction because there are micro expressions. That's what they're looking for.
Right.
Like what was that series? Lie to Me. Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Great TV show. That was one that got cut short too.
Yeah. So Leon shoots Holden after the second question. So we know he's got to track down Leon, Zora, Pris, and the final one, Roy Batty.
Right.
Roy Batty was a military Nexus 6. The rest of them, I think Pris was an entertainment model, as was Zora, and Leon was just a worker. Played by the great Brian James. I love Brian. He always plays a bad guy. Every interview I've ever seen with him, he's so nice, but he looks so mean. Roy Batty, of course, played by Rutger Hauer. Pris played by Daryl Hannah. He was great in that. And Zora, I can never remember the actress's name, and I had it written down. I think I erased it.
Sean Young.
No. Sean
Zora. Sean Young is somebody else.
Yes. God.
I'll have it
She
for you.
was the mom in. She was the mom in.
I'll have it for you in just a moment.
6 Feet Under. The girlfriend's mom.
Yeah.
She was also in Salvador, which is one of my favorite movies from the 80s.
Joanna Cassidy.
Thank you. Joanna Cassidy was Zora. And she was great as Zora. So Deckard goes around and starts tracking these things down one by one. Well, Pris gets in with in the book, the concurrent storyline of John Isidore. Pris actually gets in with John Isidore, and she starts trying to figure out how to get to Tyrell because they want to talk to Tyrell himself.
Right.
Because apparently what the Nexus 6s weren't told, nor was anybody else, is the Nexus 6s were given false memories to make them a little more human. But because they were worried they would revolt, they have like a 5-year shelf life.
Okay.
They will start having so they're all dying, which is actually what kills Roy Batty. Deckard doesn't kill him. He's already dying
right
when Deckard catches up to him. And Roy Batty still wipes the floor with Deckard and punches him through a couple of cinder block walls. But yeah. So they want to go to Tyrell to see if he can't fix them. Roy Batty actually eventually does make it to Tyrell, and they talk. And he talks to Tyrell as if he was a god.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Tyrell says there's nothing I can do, that's the way you were designed, Roy Batty kills him by basically poking his eyes through the back of his head.
Right.
Which is really bloody, but as gross as it is a beautiful scene because it's so well shot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think Blade Runner is one of those films that it gets better every time I see it.
I could agree with that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. It's probably time for me to watch it again.
Yeah.
It definitely, I really do want to see the sequel.
It's good. It is really good. It's not Blade Runner good.
Well, sure.
It's not. It's really, I would recommend it to any science fiction fan, but yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's,
I still
shooting
wanna
a bullet
see
and throwing it,
Sure, I still want to see it.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation before where sequels very often are just they're a step down from their predecessor. In some cases, but it's not that often, the sequel is better than the first one. Aliens is one of those.
Yeah.
Terminator 2.
Well, yeah, it was a better film than Terminator.
Better film than the first one. So you do get those where the sequel is better, but it's not often.
No, it's not. It's not. And you know what?
Empire.
Empire was better.
Definitely. I mean, not that Star Wars is bad by any means. Did that dog get up on the... Oh, she's up on the chair. Okay.
Because my t-shirt's over there.
Now she's sniffing up on top of the cabinet.
I think she just wants some attention.
I have the weirdest dog. She does. She was on your leg earlier trying to get your attention.
I'm going to put her in my lap.
Go ahead. Please. Get the little one.
There we go. Now we have another podcaster.
So anyway, I tailed off again. You were,
no, it's fine.
Rutger Hauer.
Yes.
The scene with the eyeball poking out. Right.
Yeah, he pokes out his eyeballs and kills it, basically crushing his face. But again, it's beautiful. And okay, so the background story is there's another character played by Sean Young who is also a Nexus 6, but she doesn't know she's an android.
Right. That's what I was thinking of when you were saying the other woman. I'm like, oh, Sean Young.
Yeah. She, so Deckard runs a void comp test on her, and it takes him like 150 questions, and he finally goes to talk to Tyrell, and he says, she's a replicant, but she doesn't know she's a replicant. And Tyrell's like, yes, that is correct. She's one of those experimental models that we're allowed to keep.
Yeah.
And she lives in the arcology like most people do who work for Tyrell. Mm-hmm. You also get to see some of the underbelly, like the guy that designs the eyes. He's basically on the streets, and he just sells the stuff up to Tyrell. And it's Isidore actually designs their minds. So that's why they go and talk to him. But yeah, the whole thing about them slowly dying, I think that's really poignant because the whole idea is they've basically made humans at this point because they gave them memories. So they have emotional responses. They're not just machines. They're people. So it's pondering the question is it right for us to kill these things just because they're in the wrong place? Mm-hmm. They have a right to survive. And
again, Star Trek Next Generation, where Picard had to defend that Data couldn't. I keep saying Data.
You're gonna get emails.
I know, right? I know it's Data. That he can't just be destroyed because he's sentient now. Yeah. There's a whole episode where he's having to defend that to Starfleet.
Yeah, because
they want to dismantle.
Yes.
Data.
Yes. Yeah, and that Picard deals with that.
Right.
That first. Have you seen Picard yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting for season 2.
Yeah, they deal with that a lot. The idea of, boxing a line. I guess they also deal with it in Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, they do. Boxing a line. Well, so I mean, you're talking to me enough about Blade Runner. I have memories of it, but I think it's really been that long since I've watched it. I need to go back and watch it now because there's a lot of this I've forgotten.
Yeah, and the problem is I was trying to look for it the other day, but I couldn't find the original cut with all because I want the film noir exposition because I think it makes the movie better. Harrison Ford and the director both disagree with me. But I don't think so. I think it's brilliant.
Surely you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, just buy it.
Blade Runner original.
Because so there is, I know somewhere out there is a cut where you get all of that exposition and you get the extra 15 minutes of footage.
Well, there's a Blu-ray 5-disc complete collector's edition for $149.
It's got everything on it.
Yeah.
It's got the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
The void comp test.
Probably.
You can do in your house.
Probably. But yeah, so you can get that complete collector's edition. But yeah, I'm sure you can I'm sure you can get the original somewhere. I have no doubt about that. Get it streaming for that matter.
Yeah. I think I probably ought to just sit down and watch it again because it is really, really
I need to. I very much need to, especially, like I said, after listening to you talk about this, there's so much that's, kicking in the back of my head. Yeah, I remember this, but so much I'm like, I don't remember that, and I need to go back and watch.
And the arcologies and stuff. And
I remember the arcology.
Yeah, a lot of the ideas we have in Shadowrun actually come from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like the cityscape. And
absolutely.
So the thing about Blade Runner that people have always talked about was the corporate death that happened in Blade. Like, so these companies paid a lot of money to have their names on things in Blade Runner, and a lot of them went away.
Right.
Like Kodak and
merged with others and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, this is IBM. Oh wow.
Well, but it was just, that was the whole society where corporations are king.
Yeah.
Corporations, like we go back into Shadowrun, corporations rule the world. Yeah. Corporations are your governments. And so, a lot of the far out sci-fi, and granted, originally it was in the 90s and they pushed it up, but sci-fi that's, way out there are very heavy into corporate logos being huge. Yeah. You get the holograms and the flashy lights and everything like that.
Flying cars,
which we still don't have.
No. Well, yes, you can get a flying car. It is prohibitively expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not everybody has. I guarantee there's no police force that has them.
No. So, okay.
I think that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you've at least convinced me that I need to go back and rewatch this.
Oh yeah. And definitely try to read that book again. Again, it's only like 100 pages.
I need to. I'll do that.
Yeah. So people out there, do androids dream of electric sheep is dry in comparison to Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a beautiful piece of artwork by itself. But I think you should do both.
Okay.
So people out there, go see Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049 is fine as well. It basically picks up the story. I won't give any spoilers.
Because I haven't seen it.
Because it basically, where Blade Runner ends, that's basically, this story takes place 20 years after the end of Blade Runner and what happened to Deckard and the Nexus 6 that he was with. And so,
Great.
And there was a mystery going on. You don't realize it. Just like, why do we keep looking at this person? And you find out why later on.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff.
Well, thank you, sir.
As usual, good stuff.
Well, thank you.
Good stuff. So with that, then we'll switch over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
So today's episode I titled Murder on a Submarine.
Huh.
Which I thought sounded like an Agatha Christie novel.
Okay. All right. So, like, down in Galveston, we have a beach submarine. I have gone through. Now, granted, this is a World War II submarine. How the hell are you going to murder somebody in a submarine? Everybody can see you.
Guess you'll have to listen more to find out.
Okie dokie.
So we'll be back after these messages. No, I'm sorry. My information that I got for this case, there was a YouTube video off that chapter, which is actually, I'm going to start watching them because he's really good. Covers a lot of cases, but this is the bizarre case of Peter Madsen. I got a ton of stuff from BBC.com.
Love the BBC.
Got stuff off The Guardian, NBC News, New York Times, and NPR.
I love NPR.
So those are all of my sources. So we're going to start with Peter Madsen.
Okay.
Peter was born in January of 1971 to Annie and Carl Madsen. His home life was described as somewhat turbulent, and most likely because his parents had a 36-year age gap.
Oh.
The father was 36 years older than...
wow.
Yeah. His father was also described as authoritarian and violent.
Okay.
So here you go.
Wow.
That's where you get somebody.
How old was the mom when the kid was born?
God, I wish I had looked that up. I didn't think about you asking that.
Sorry, it was the 36 age year gap. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like maybe he was doing a little bit of cradle robbing too.
Oh, well, yeah, a 36-year-old, yeah.
Yeah.
Peter grew up loving rockets, chemistry, and physics.
Oh, cool.
He was an engineer and an entrepreneur. He never had a formal education, but he joined rocket clubs and engineering groups.
Okay.
He said he was educated, quote, a little bit as an engineer, a naval engineer, and a marine engineer. And he started getting funded by organizations that saw his potential.
Oh, good. Okay.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Friends described him as eccentric, uncompromising, and did not like to be contradicted. And in 2011, he made a big name for himself for his amateur space program. He built and launched homemade rockets through his company, Copenhagen Suborbitals.
Okay.
They actually launched the strongest amateur-built rocket, which broke the sound barrier.
Oh, nice.
Going backwards a little bit, I think I put a date. It may not have been 2011. I think I've got a date wrong in here. But in May of 2008, he launched the Nautilus, which at the time was the largest privately made submarine in the world at 58 feet long.
Okay.
The submarine had been built over 3 years by Peter and volunteers and cost roughly $200,000 US.
Okay. That's kind of cheap for a submarine, isn't it? Yeah.
And it could fit about 8 people into the submarine, 4 above deck and 4 when submerged.
Okay.
So only 4 could fit in when they actually submerged.
Okay.
Peter did become the subject of news in many interviews and was once on a TEDx talk.
Nice.
In 2014, Peter left Copenhagen Suborbitals in an apparent argument with one of the other co-founders who accused him of choosing his family over space. Their mission was from the ocean floor to space, and journalist Thomas Dursing wrote a biography on Peter in 2014 and said about him in the Jyllands-Posten paper, quote, he is angry with God and everyone. He has a hard time getting along with other people. He has lofty ambitions and wants to do everything his way.
Wow. This does not sound good.
Doesn't sound like that great of a guy.
No, this does not bode well for our heroes.
No, and Peter then set up Rocket Madsen Space Laboratory. He built his own. I thought this was kind of cool. They had a video of this. He built his own rocket-powered centrifuge for training to go into space. And it was capable of going 6 to 7 Gs.
Wow.
Yeah, there was they showed that on the video. The homemade centrifuge is pretty wild. In 2015, Peter was quoted as saying the Nautilus was cursed and there would never be peace on it as long as he existed.
Huh.
Thought that was interesting. So we're going to leave Peter for a little while.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk about Kim Wall.
Okay.
She was born on March 22nd, 1987. She was a freelance Swedish journalist. She wrote for The Guardian, The New York Times, Vice, Slate, and Time.
Okay.
So pretty well-rounded there.
Yeah. Well, he was born in 71 and she was born in 87. Mm-hmm. Just trying to keep it straight. Okay, Go ahead.
She received a bachelor's degree in international relations from the London School of Economics and a dual master's in journalism and international relations from Columbia University in New York.
Wow.
And she was a United Nations Foundation Press Fellow in 2014 and 2015.
Oh, wow.
So she was pretty...
She's papered.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really good. She was awarded the Hans Meath Prize in March of 2016 for the best digital reportage for Exodus, which was a multimedia report on climate change and nuclear weapons testing in the Marshall Islands.
Okay.
So, by this point, she was considered a rising star in the journalist world, and she had actually circled the globe at least once in her travels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was very well traveled. She lived with her boyfriend, Ole Stobbe in Refselium, Copenhagen.
Okay.
I had to put in parentheses the pronunciation. That's why I love when I get the video, because then I get the extra.
Refselium?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been able to pronounce that word.
Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen. But she was actually based out of New York and Beijing.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a lot of jumping around.
Oh, yeah.
Copenhagen, New York, and Beijing.
Well, she and Ole, they had planned to move to Beijing in August of 2017.
Okay.
So to kind of get them a little more, grounded. On Thursday, August 10th, 2017, Kim and Ole were planning a farewell party for their move.
Okay.
But she got a text right before the party inviting her to interview Danish entrepreneur Peter Madsen on his midget submarine, the UC-3 Nautilus.
The Nautilus.
So now we're bringing Peter back in here.
Okay. I have a sneaky suspicion this does not bode well.
Well, she had requested an interview with him previously in the year, but he never responded back. Well, suddenly he has.
Okay.
So Kim agreed to join Peter on the submarine for 2 hours, and she boarded the vessel at approximately 7 o'clock p.m. The final picture of Kim would be at approximately 8:30 p.m. when a ship that was passing by took a photo of her in the ship's conning tower.
Oh, cool.
Well, except that's the final picture of her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I knew you weren't listening to me.
No. She's up in the conning tower. That's really cool. Oh, wait, that's right. She's about to get murdered.
I saw the picture, and in it, she was smiling. She looked relaxed.
She's on a submarine.
Yeah. Her last text. I want to make sure you're
and I'm with you. Okay, being on the conning tower of a submarine while it's underway is cool. Being murdered is not. Okay, so I'm with you. Okay.
Her last text would be to Ole, and she said, "I'm alive, BTW, but I'm going down now. I love you. He brought coffee and cookies, though."
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, last text. The farewell party that she and Ole were throwing kept going, but at about 1 a.m., Ole began to worry about Kim because they had to leave early for Beijing.
Yeah, we got to get on a plane. Where are you at?
He went to the docks to see if there was any sign of the submarine. But there wasn't any, so he called police at 1:45 a.m. to report Kim missing.
Right on.
The Coast Guard was notified at approximately 4 a.m. that there might be a marine accident somewhere, as no trace of the Nautilus could be found. And boats and helicopters started searching the area.
Okay. In my head, I am seeing the Nautilus from the Disney movie. I'm assuming it does not look like that.
No, it does not.
Okay, good. All right, I'm with you. Please continue.
The Nautilus was finally sighted at 10:30 the next morning in Kogi Bay. I heard it pronounced several different ways, but I'm going to say Kogi, Koge. Kogi Bay, southeast of Amager by Drogan Lighthouse, and was foundered by 11 o'clock. I actually had to look that up. That means filled with water and sunk.
Oh, wow.
Foundered. Peter was in the tower when they found the submarine sinking. And he jumped out and swam to a nearby boat where he was taken ashore.
Okay.
By then, media had arrived, and they were, of course, asking where Kim was. And I hated this. They showed it in the video. Peter just put his thumbs up and went, "Everything's just grand." He said there was a damaged ballast, and he had dropped Kim off about 10:30 p.m. near the Halvandet restaurant on the northern tip of Refselium, and continued on until the submarine began sinking.
Okay.
Police did not believe Peter.
No, I'll bet not. Because if she would Refselium, which is where she lives, I would imagine she probably could have gotten to her house between 10:30 and 1:30.
Most likely.
Yeah. If he'd have actually dropped her off, she'd have been home before then.
So the police immediately arrested Peter. They charged him with negligent manslaughter.
Okay.
They suspected that Peter had scuttled the submarine, but Peter continued saying he dropped Kim off on land, but then later he admitted to dumping her body off at sea after she died, claiming there had been an accident on board the Nautilus.
Oh, well, if it was an accident, why change your story?
Right. On August 21st, a cyclist found Kim's torso washed up on a beach southwest of Amager. Post-mortem examination revealed 15 stab wounds, mostly in the groin, and the charges against Peter were now changed to manslaughter. On September 5th, Peter continued his story and testified in court that Kim had died after being struck on the head by a submarine hatch cover. So this was the story he's now portraying, is that the hatch cover came down, knocked her out, and he didn't know what to do, so he got rid of the body. He was scared. That's the story he has so far.
Okay, yeah.
On October 6th, cadaver dogs found It's never good. Cadaver dogs found 2 plastic bags in Kogi Bay containing Kim's head, legs, clothes, and a knife.
See, he dismembered her?
He dismembered her. There was a postmortem done on Kim's head, and it revealed no blunt force trauma, but did not determine the cause of death. So now the hatch going on the head.
Lie.
Prosecution did say that police had discovered videos on Peter's computer. This is wonderful, showing women being murdered and witnesses that said they had Peter watching videos of decapitation and practicing asphyxiation sex. Apparently, Peter was also a regular at sex fetish parties and was constantly offering ride on his submarine to women. He had actually asked other women that very week, but no one else accepted the ride.
Yeah.
Kim was the only one that
Well,
accepted.
she was going to get a story because she's a reporter. That's what they do.
Yep. The videos that they found on the computer showed women being tortured or killed. And shortly before taking Kim out on the submarine, he watched a beheading video. Yeah. Peter then changed his story.
I'll bet.
He said he did not dismember Kim, but denied intention. He said he did dismember Kim, but denied intentionally killing her, saying she may have died from poisonous exhaust gas that entered the submarine while he was on deck. So we've now changed our story.
Again. All right. So okay. I just want to hold you there.
Please.
So first story was, oh, everything's great. I dropped her off at 10:30. Okay, no, I didn't drop her off at 10:30. She got hit on the head with this hatch. Oh, you found her body and there's no wound on the hatch. Okay,
Oops, I lied about that.
Yeah, okay. She didn't get hit on the head with a hatch. She got hit by the gas, and I dismembered her because I didn't know what to do. Story number 3.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay, all right.
You're there.
Please continue.
So, what he said is the air pressure on board the submarine suddenly plummeted, and he explained at the time Kim was in the engine room. He said that the sub had filled with exhaust fumes while he was on deck, and he was unable to get back in. But when he finally managed to open the hatch, a warm cloud, he said, quote, "When I finally managed to open the hatch, a warm cloud hits my face. I find her lifeless on the floor, and I squat next to her and try to wake her up, slapping her cheeks. Then after trying for almost an hour to push her body out of the submarine, he said he mutilated her."
To get her out of the submarine.
Yes.
Because, instead of calling the police because she died accidentally, no, I chopped her up so I could get her out the hatch. Yeah. Is anybody buying this story?
Well, there's a postmortem done on the torso.
Okay.
There are no signs of exhaustive gas in her lungs.
Oh, well, there you go.
Exhaust gas.
Does he change his story at this point?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please continue.
6 days later, they found a saw in the water. And on November 21st and 29th, police divers found Kim's arms in the bay. The Nautilus had actually been raised by this point. Investigators say that the submarine had been deliberately sunk.
Oh, yeah.
On January 16th, 2018, Peter is charged with murder, indecent handling of a corpse, and sexual assault. So it appeared that Peter, in preparation, had brought on board the Nautilus a saw, a knife, sharp screwdrivers, and zip ties.
This is premeditated. Oh, I don't know how their courts work, but I know here
I would agree.
Intent can change the charge, the crime.
The prosecution accused Peter of torturing Kim before she died by cutting her throat or strangling her. They found restraint marks on Kim's wrists and ankles, so they said he bound her, beat her, stabbed her, and then choked her or cut her throat before cutting her up and dumping her into the sea. That's what they said happened. The prosecution said the motive was purely sexual torture to fulfill a violent sexual fantasy. They said he grew tired of just watching the videos and wanted to perform the acts himself by torturing and murdering Kim with great pleasure. Again, this is the prosecution saying this.
Yes.
He has not claimed this himself, but
of course not.
It paints a pretty grim picture.
Yes.
The trial began on March 8th at Copenhagen Courthouse. There, Peter pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter, but once again said he did not outright kill Kim.
Mm-hmm.
On April 25th, he was convicted on all 3 charges and sentenced to life in prison. The trial judge, Annette Barco, described the crime as a cynical and pre-planned sexual assault of a particularly brutal nature on a random woman who, in connection with her journalistic work, accepted an invitation for a sailing trip. So he gets convicted.
Mm-hmm.
He was admitted to a hospital on August 28th after being attacked for a fellow inmate. And sorry, maybe I'm sick and twisted, but I like hearing that these sickos get their just reward.
Yeah,
they
really get the shit beat out of them while they're in jail.
I'm sorry, maybe that's bad of me, but yeah, no, I'm very. Yeah, I absolutely believe the prosecution in this case.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm glad he got the hell beat out of him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think anybody deserves to die. That's just the way I feel about it.
Well, not by the hands of someone else.
Yeah. But honestly, a good ass whooping. I'm kind of happy with this.
Yeah. Peter did appeal his sentence, and on September 26th, the sentence was upheld by the High Court of Eastern Denmark, and the judges said that they upheld the conviction as the case was of unusual brutality.
Right on.
In September 2020, in a Danish documentary, The Secret Recordings with Peter Madsen, he admitted to killing Kim Wall.
Oh, wow.
When asked if he killed Kim Wall, Peter said, quote, "It's my fault she died, and it's my fault because I committed the crime. It's all my fault. There is only one who is guilty, and that is me."
Okay.
On October 20th, 2020, Peter escaped.
What?
Peter escaped from here's another one, Herstedvister prison by threatening a prison psychologist. Peter had a pistol-like object and then fled equipped with what he claimed was a bomb belt. He made it about a half mile from the prison where he forced his way into a van and was driving around. There's a video because he's caught on video running.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to have to post a link to, if I can find just that clip. It reminded me of Benny Hill.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you said it.
When you see the video, you'll see it. You'll have to see it. It made me think of an old Benny Hill video. So he forced his way into a van. He was driving around, and then he ended up stopping, and where they found him for about an hour and a half until police determined the bomb belt was a fake, and he's got another 21 months added to his sentence on top of that.
Okay, so life plus 21 months.
Right.
He ain't getting out.
He's also been ordered to pay $3,200 to the psychiatrist, or the psychologist. So, the final note I have in here is Kim's writings are still posted on kim-wall.com to this day. Some pretty good stuff. I read through that as well.
Okay.
But that's the story of the murder on the submarine.
Murder on a submarine. Well, okay. So now I get it. There were only 2 people on there. That's how you commit a murder on a submarine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's you and one other person.
Told you we'd get there.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, because there's not a lot of room in a submarine. I mean, I don't know about those big old nuclear jobs.
Well, the nuclear submarine,
that's a big boat.
It is a big boat. There's not a lot of room to maneuver around. Yeah. It's pretty
still
narrow.
Be really difficult to commit a murder and nobody see you.
Right. I'm sure there has been murder on a U.S. naval submarine before, or a submarine period. But yeah, no, this one was a little personal craft being built.
Right on. That doesn't look like the one from the Disney film.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
It still does in my head, just so you know.
No, with you. It wasn't yellow.
It wasn't yellow either?
No, it was black or gray, one of the two. There's pictures of it. There's videos out there.
But this sicko is rotting in jail. Good.
This sicko is rotting in jail because as of October 2020.
It's Sweden.
He'll be there for life.
Nice.
That's one of the things I've never understood is, life with the possibility of parole. That doesn't really mean life, does it?
No.
Life should mean life. I don't know. That's a conviction I don't
you
really
should
understand.
only be going out of that place feet first.
Yeah. So that's all I have for this episode.
That was kind of wonderful. Thanks. Not wonderful that she died.
Right. As wonderful as my side of the podcast could be, we
hey,
have
at least
fun.
you got to be in a conning tower in a submarine. That's not nothing, but.
I guarantee there are people out there that are going to go, man, I really like that nerdy side. It's a lot of fun to listen to. God damn, that murder is dark.
Yeah, well, we need a little light, little dark. That's kind of how we roll.
Yeah. As always, you can find us on our website, nerderyandmurdery.com. There's our contact information there, as well as all of our social media feeds. Mm-hmm. Do please, let us know how you're liking the episodes.
Yes.
Again, as always, we will accept any submissions for subject matter that you would like to see.
Yes, please.
Or like to hear, like us to research for you. Good Lord, that's a cat. Jana is like a cat. She's climbing up like she's on a dang cat ladder
She's sitting in my lap getting petted a little while ago.
My dogs are crazy. Yes, I see you, pretty girl. I see you. Her tail just goes 1,000 miles an hour.
She's hitting the back of the chair. It sounds like a drone.
So hopefully you've seen the pictures of the shirts by now. I really think that this is going to be merchandise that people are going to want. So I'm so excited about it. I'm sorry. I have to say it again. I love this shirt.
Yes.
I absolutely love this shirt. I think you're going to get a hug and a kiss from both of us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yes. He's shaking his head no.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Anyway, those are the various ways you can get a hold of us and contact us. We're out there on all your major podcast platforms. I'm assuming you're hearing it on a podcast platform now.
Yes.
But
you can also hear it at our website with the links and some of the pictures and things.
Yep. And so with that,
I've been Zig with your nerdery.
And I've been Geoffrey with your murdery.
Cue the music.